What's up, SnEaKyNation? SnEaKy P here, back with all the news after week number 12 of our San Francisco 49ers franchise, where the 49ers picked up a heartbreaking loss to the Miami Dolphins. Next up, we have the 3-8 Chicago Bears. But first, let's go ahead and check out some of the highlights from week number 12. The 49ers would start off with the ball, and the first drive was a thing of beauty. Drone that time with a nice catch. Then on 2nd down and 6, Quentin Patton would take it all the way down to the 5. That would set up this 1st and goal throw to Vance McDonald, and the 49ers would go on top 7-0, but the Dolphins had other plans this game. On 3rd and 17, the 49ers have struggled in this position all year long. Justin Hunter on the right side would pick up the first down, a gain of 20 there. Then on 2nd down and 2, Tannehill looking down the right side of the field, and who else? Hunter wide open again. That would set up this 1st and goal run by Rodgers into the end zone, and we have a tie ball game, 7-7. The Dolphins would get the ball back here, and Rodgers on the right side going down the field, and he would take it all the way to about the 15-yard line. On 2nd down and 11, Deion Sims over Tremaine Brock into the end zone. The Dolphins would take a 14-7 lead. The 49ers trying to get back into the game, but an overthrown pass would give the Dolphins the ball back here, and that would set up this Ryan Tannehill play on 3rd down and 7. Look at this throw to the corner of the end zone. Deion Sims comes down with it, and the Dolphins had a 21-7 lead. Blaine Gabbert trying to make a throw here on finding Torrey Smith down the right side. However, on the next play, not the next play, but a few plays later, looking for Torrey Smith, he would challenge Byron Maxwell, and that was a mistake. The 49ers would get the ball back right before halftime, and Phil Dawson would kick a field goal. 21-10 would be the score going into the break. Early on in the 3rd quarter, 49ers trying to get back into the game, but Abdul Kudos has other plans. His 2nd interception of the day, and that would set up the Miami Dolphins for another scoring drive. Here is Rodgers on 3rd and 2, breaking the tackle of the veteran safety Antoine Bethea, and then on 3rd and 3, Rodgers into the end zone, touchdown for the Dolphins. They would go on top 28-10. Tannehill and the Dolphins having the ball back, and then again on another 3rd and 17 play, Deion Sims would make the play. That would set up this field goal here. 31-10 is the score. 49ers trying to get back into the game, and Howard is just having none of it for the 4th interception by the Dolphins defense of the day. And that is just a heartbreaker for the 49ers. From then, they kind of ran the clock out. The 49ers would get a garbage time touchdown to Vance McDonald, his 2nd of the day. But ultimately, it would be the Dolphins that would prevail and get the victory. The 49ers falling to 4-7 on the year. The Dolphins improving to 3-8. We are not going to bring Jeremy Curley back. I don't want to risk him getting injured. Quentin Patton's been playing well. Chris Owusu is still a factor as well. So we will continue moving forward. Next up, we have another winnable game against the Chicago Bears, but we've been talking about it, and this team really struggles on the road. This could be a difficult game for the 49ers. You know, we just went to play the 2-8 Dolphins, and this team just did not show up at all. Going up against the Chicago Bears team will not be an easy task regardless of their talent. This first pass is swatted down. The 49ers trying to get first downs here, and Antoine Bethea would have the interception. On the 3rd attempt on the left side, Vance McDonald would fight and pick up the first down there. 4th attempt, not looking good for the 49ers. This is swatted away, and then the last attempt, 49ers trying to make something happen, and Smith unable to hold on to the ball. A bronze medal for the 49ers, only going 1 of 5, though. Certainly not a good sign for a team that struggled so much offensively in that last game. We were hoping to see the offense kind of rally together and start maybe making some plays, but it just did not happen there. Here's Carlos Hyde breaking some tackles and a vicious spin move on Eric Reed into the end zone. Now the offense coming to life there. 1st down and 10. Hyde taken down. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 here. Hyde up the middle, taken down by Bowman. It'll be 3rd and about 3. Carlos Hyde not getting away this time, so it'll be 4th down for the 49ers offense here. Carlos Hyde trying a spin move that kept him from getting the first down there. However, on the very next play, Carlos Hyde into the end zone, and we have a bronze for the defense as well. Certainly not at all what we wanted to see from this 49ers team. Not a good practice in a week right after we struggled. We have some press questions. The first by Matt Gade. Gabbert is playing the best football of his career. What do you think has been the key to his success, and what does he need to improve on? This question was asked before that last game. You know, he's been really good at finding guys in the end zone. He's thrown for a lot more touchdown passes than we've expecting, and I think a lot of that is we've been pretty conservative on offense for the most part. We don't take too many attempts deep down the field. I think that's helped. As for what he needs to improve on, he needs to make better decisions with the football. He has thrown way too many interceptions this season, and that's something that we definitely need him to improve on. Next up, Brennan Blake. Which side of the ball has impressed you more? I gotta say the offensive side of the ball. They've really been asked to do things we didn't anticipate doing coming into this season. We wanted to be a running team that didn't throw the ball as much, but our defense has kind of forced us to fall down in games to where we needed to try to throw our way out of it. Blaine Gabbert has made a lot of mistakes trying to do so, but he's also had some success as well, again, throwing for a lot of touchdowns. I feel like our offense has put more points on the board than expected, but our defense has given up more than we would like. Our defense is also much younger, though. And then Night Reaper Gaming. Your defense has been doing a great job rushing the passer. However, they are still giving up big runs, which is opening the game for big passing plays. What can you do to fix this? I think really the big thing for us right now is just experience. We have a very, very young defense, and they're getting exposed. You know, part of the reason we've been putting so much pressure on the quarterback is we have been sending quite a few blitzes because we don't necessarily trust our corners enough to keep their receiver locked down for an extended period of time. And by sending those blitzes, if the running back gets to the outside of those guys and they don't recognize it, then that is leading to some big plays. It's kind of, you know, a no-win situation. Either we give up big passing plays or we try to stop the passing plays and maybe give up a rushing play. Sometimes blitz works great on the run, but those times when they get to the outside and we don't have anybody waiting for them, it certainly is an issue. As for what we can do to improve, again, just kind of hope our guys can get better in coverage so we don't necessarily need to send so many people after the quarterback on as many plays. That could definitely help fool teams a little bit more. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for all the questions. Let's go ahead and check out all of the scores and stats from around the NFL. First up, we have the Vikings taking down the Lions. The Vikings improving to 8-3 on the year. The Lions falling to 8-3 on the year. The NFC North has become a division to watch. The Vikings, Lions, and Packers all having a lot of success this season. And this is certainly going to be one of the most interesting playoff races that we see in any of the divisions this year. And it's even possible that this team or this division sends two teams to the wild card. I don't know if that's going to happen, but a lot of teams are looking very good in this division. Again, the Vikings and Lions currently both at 8-3. We'll get to the Packers later on here. Next up, 38-21, the Redskins taking down the Cowboys in a bit of an upset. The Redskins improving to 4-7 on the year. The Cowboys falling to 7-4. 2 touchdowns by Chris Thompson on the day there. Dez Bryant, 97 yards for him. Doxson, the rookie out of TCU, with 100 yards on 6 catches. He has had a pretty solid season so far for the Redskins. Preston Smith would lead the way with 11 tackles, 2 for Chris Baker, 2 sacks, for Chris Baker on the day. Interceptions, 1 by Will Compton. Fumbles forced and fumbles recovered. We have a bunch of fumbles forced. Josh Norman would recover his, and so would Ionandis. I don't know if I said that right. I probably didn't. 38-7. The Steelers are going to take down the Colts. The Steelers continuing their offensive surge, improving to 7-4 on the year. The Colts falling to 4-7. Again, continuing to struggle a bit more than you would expect. T.Y. Hilton did have a good game, though. 96 yards for Antonio Brown. He did not get a touchdown in today's game. Robinson leading the way with 14 tackles, 3 sacks by Langford, Harrison, and Tuitt there. 2 interceptions by William Gay on the day, and then 1 fumble forced and recovered by Jarvis Jones. 27-7, the Titans get a victory over the Chicago Bears. The Titans improved to 6-6. The Bears falling to 3-8. So the one team really struggling within the NFC North is the Bears here. Just unable to really get any kind of consistency. Sharp, the rookie, going to have 2 touchdowns there for the Titans. Fasano would add 1 as well. Defensively, Amos leading the way in tackles. Trevathan and Bullard each getting a sack and a half there. Searcy with 2 interceptions, 1 by Freeman. Fumbles forced and recovered. Fumbles forced. Goldman and Dodd, the rookie out of Clemson, would force and recover one. 28-17, the Bills would get the victory over the Jags. The Bills improved to 9-2 on the year. The Jags falling to 5-6 on the season. The Bills continue to impress here. They share the record for the best record in the NFL at 9-2. And, you know, continue to step up in big games. So they are doing a good job looking to take that division away. Zach Brown going to have the interception on the day. Smith would force a fumble and nobody would recover it. 41-7, the Ravens in a huge upset over the Bengals. The Ravens getting their second win of the season. And Andy Dalton struggled in this one. The Bengals fall to 5-5-1. The Ravens now at 2-9. And we talked about it last time. The Ravens offense has really been stepping up lately. Joe Flacco's been playing much better. Look at Steve Smith Sr., 161 yards and 3 touchdowns for him. The defense has been struggling, but they certainly stepped up big time today. Dumerville getting 2 sacks on the day. 2 interceptions by C.J. Mosley, Eric Weddle, and Lewis would each have one as well for the Ravens. And you gotta think C.J. Mosley, despite his team's record, has gotta be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. He has been phenomenal all year long. The Falcons winning 30-24 over the Arizona Cardinals. The Falcons improved to 8-3 on the year. The Cardinals falling to 2-9. They were hoping to have a little bit of a resurgence after the victory against the 49ers. It did not happen here today. And they've continued to struggle in recent weeks, I guess. Only 2 wins on the year. Warlow leading the way with 12 tackles. Sacks, we have a few here. Upshaw and Mincy included. Interceptions, we're going to have one by Vic Beasley Jr. Fumbles forced, and we have one by Kevin Minter. He would recover it as well. We have our second tie of the season. The Giants and the Browns even it up. 6-4-1 for the Giants. The Browns 7-4-1 right now. And it's interesting because the Browns are fighting for their division with the Steelers right now. This tie could be huge for them. It could also be very, very bad for them. Only time will tell, but it is something that we are certainly going to have to keep an eye on. And I feel like I am missing a game for the Browns, or I wrote down their record wrong, because I feel like they've played more games than everybody else. So I don't know. I'll have to redo this. They might be 6-4-1 as well, if I did write that down wrong. I apologize. 35-10. The Saints take down the Rams. The Saints improved to 5-6. The Rams fall to 7-4 on the year. So the Rams do still have the lead in the NFC West here, but the Seahawks are hot on their trail. We'll have to find out what happened in that game a little bit later on. Defensively, Barron, leading the way in tackles. 2 sacks for Kruger there. Interceptions, we are going to have one by Briu. I hope I said his name right. Some names I struggle with, guys. I apologize. No fumbles forced or recovered. 28-21. The Chargers get the victory over the Texans. The Chargers sharing the record with the Bills for the best record in the NFL right now, sitting at 9-2. The Texans falling to 4-7 on the day. Hopkins, a good game. 99 yards for him on 8 catches. He did not find his way into the end zone, though. Defensively, McKinney leading the way with 11 tackles, sacks, 2.5 by J.J. Watt. And look at Joey Bosa continuing to have a huge rookie season there for the Chargers. Certainly a candidate for Rookie of the Year, at least defensively. Fumbles forced, we're going to have a few. McKinney, Merciless, Perryman, and Manti Te'o going to force the fumbles. Only Te'o would recover his. 28-21, the Seahawks getting a victory over the Buccaneers. So, again, the Seahawks sitting at 6-5 right now. The Rams at 7-4, but the Rams have been struggling a little bit more lately. The Seahawks are starting to play better, certainly capable of winning that division. The Bucs falling to 6-5, and a little bit further away from catching up to the Falcons on the season for the race in that division. Alexander leading the way with 15 tackles there. He also got a sack. David and Spence each getting a sack as well. Werner with another interception. We saw him get a few last week, and no fumbles forced to recover. The Panthers with a 28-3 victory over the Oakland Raiders. The Panthers improved to 5-6. The Raiders falling to 5-6. Connor Shaw I'm sorry, I meant Connor Cook. Not having a great day. 2 interceptions for him. I can't believe I made that mistake. Benjamin with 7 catches on the day for the Panthers offense that played very well. Aldon Smith, 13 tackles for him. A bunch of players with sacks. Ely and Johnson each with a sack and a half. Interceptions. Coleman, Emerson, and Worley, the rookie out of West Virginia, making the plays there. No fumble. Oh, I'm sorry. Ely and Klein would force a fumble. No fumbles recovered, though. 26-7, the Chiefs take down the Broncos. The Chiefs improved to 7-4 on the year. The Broncos falling to 3-8 on the season, not getting it done despite having a good defense backing them up. They have struggled offensively so far this season, and it continues to happen. Defensively, Marshall leading the way with 11 tackles on the day. We are going to have a few players with multiple sacks here. Bailey, Houston, and Starks all getting 2 on the day. Interceptions, 1 by Marshall, 1 by Ron Parker. Fumbles forced, let's see what we have. And nothing happening there. Oh, I'm sorry. There's 3, and they would all be recovered too. 23-17, the Patriots with the victory over the Jets, rebounding after a tough loss to the 49ers. The Patriots improved to 5-5-1. The Jets fall to 5-6 on the year. Edelman, 100 yards on 8 catches for him. A pretty solid day. He did not get into the end zone, but they had other players to do that for him. Pryor leading the way with 12 tackles. Sacks, 2 by Sheard on the day for the Patriots there. A lot of sacks going down in this game, though. Interceptions, 1 by Jamie Collins. Fumbles forced. Let's see what we got. And 1 by Gilchrist. It would not be recovered, though. Last up, we have the Packers and the Eagles, and the Packers will win 40-30 to improve to 8-3 on the year. The Eagles falling to 2-9, so we just talked about it. But again, the Vikings, the Lions, and the Packers all sitting at 8-3 within this division. It is very possible that the NFC North will have 3 teams representing them in the playoffs, but nothing is guaranteed. All of these teams certainly want to win the division, not only for playoff purposes, but just for bragging rights. And it's going to be a very interesting finale over these last few weeks. We're bound to have a lot of games between the teams. Adrian Peterson, 209 yards rushing for him, 2 touchdowns. Burnett with 7 tackles and 2 interceptions. CJ Mosley, again, 2 interceptions and 7 tackles. And then Steve Smith Sr., 8 catches, 161 yards, 3 touchdowns for him. We have some draft stories here. Terrell Roos out of LSU, offensive line, only allowing 6 sacks on the season for the whole team. That's crazy. Kadarius Folston consistency is helping him rise up the draft boards. And then Sealy Kirkendall is a monster. This guy has been killing it all season long. He is a defensive lineman and certainly somebody that we are going to have to keep an eye on. First up, we have Cortez Peppers sitting at 6'4" out of Oklahoma. Early first-round talent or projection, late second-round talent. Might stay away from him. Here is Kirkendall out of LSU, 6'7". I could have sworn I read Oklahoma. I apologize. He is a 3-4 run stopper. We don't necessarily need defensive line, but we could move him around. Here's the other storyline. Terrell Roos out of LSU, and they are, look at this, early second-round projection. Early first-round talent. I have never seen the talent that much of a difference there. Usually they'll project him late first round or something like that. So definitely a guy that we have to keep an eye on for our second round selection. And then there's Ash, not quite what we were expecting when we scouted him. Jay Cutler leading the the Bears offense. Williams going to be a running back. Miller at fullback. Alshon Jeffrey, a great young wide receiver, somebody that could torch us. Kevin White there as well. Zach Miller at tight end, a very good player. Eugene Monroe is going to be at left tackle. Larson at left guard. Josh Sitton is out with an injury. And the Bears are actually dealing with a lot of injuries right now. We will go ahead and check that out after their depth chart here. At right end, they have Bullard, a rookie from Florida, again filling in for Hicks, another injured player. Eddie Goldman and John Jenkins at defensive tackle. McPhee going to be at left outside linebacker, but look how much depth they have at linebacker across the board here. It is unbelievable. A lot of good players and a big, bright future for some of them there. Kyle Fuller going to be the #1 corner there. Amos going to be at free safety, and then at strong safety, Jones Cordy. I hope I said that one right as well, guys. You guys know I struggle with names. You guys know I do this. I apologize. I do need to get better at it. Certain names I just can't memorize, though. Anyway, that is it for their depth chart. But again, look at all of the injuries this team is dealing with right now. They have been hit pretty hard. They did sign Will Hill, but Then he suffered an Achilles tear, and that is a big blow to this team. So that is going to be it for this news video, guys. I very much hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for everybody that watches these. I know most people are more interested in the games, and that's okay. But I appreciate it when you take time out of your day to watch these two guys, and I will catch y'all next time. Later.